What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith. Welcome to The Nerdy Narrative, a channel where I like to talk about all sorts of fun, bookish related things in the science fiction, fantasy, horror, and manga genres. So in today's episode of fun, I'm going to share with you all of the books that I picked up in the month of October. I'm going to start with the one that is probably going to be the most surprising to all of you. I would be lying if I didn't say it was also a bit surprising to me. I have several people to blame for this. Those people would be Christy Lewis, the Codex Cantina Boys, and Lucas from Bit of Lit. These three channels have gotten me somewhat addicted to literary classics and now a strange desire to read nonfiction. Yep, you heard me. Christy Lewis announced on her channel the other day that she and Kate Howe are going to be teaming up to host a nonfiction read-along, and the book they chose is Romantic Outlaws: The Extraordinary Lives of Mary Wollstonecraft and Mary Shelley. I'm not even going to try to describe this book to you. I'm going to put Christy's announcement video in the description box, but it really spoke to me. I did a little research on this book and it sounds really fascinating. So I had no choice but to take part in that. You don't have a smell. That's disappointing. I'm just growing up. It's my first nonfiction book by choice. The next one is a very interesting arc, The Science of Stephen King by Meg Hafthal and Kelly Florence. I am so excited about this one. It's the truth behind Pennywise, Jack Torrance, Carrie Cujo, and more iconic characters from the Master of Horror. So this little piece is a guide to the Stephen King stories and characters we all know and love through interviews, literary and film analysis, bone-chilling discoveries. The Science of Stephen King delves into the uniquely horrific Stephen King universe to uncover the science behind the legendary novels that have become an integral part of modern pulp culture, answering such questions as, how does lack of sleep affect the human body like insomnia? Is it possible for the horrific creatures to exist like a night shift? What is the science behind curses and legends like in Dreamcatcher and Thinner? You smell like a dirty mail truck. So this next one I am really excited about. It's The Sword of Kaigan by M.L. Wang. I purchased this book for 3 reasons. Angela from Literature Science Alliance, Lena from Sufficiently Advanced Lena, and finally, shelf space. So Angela and Lena both read this book recently and they had rave reviews for it. Angela and Lena are 2 booktubers whose opinions I really trust when it comes to opinions and recommendations on books. They loved this book so much, I had no choice but to put it on my TBR. That's where Shelf Space comes in. Shelf Space is the book club that is hosted by Jessie May's channel. I'm gonna have her channel linked below if you're interested in joining. This is the pick for the month of November and I am really excited about this journey. So I saved the best for last. I got a very heavy box from my indie bookstore, which is Copperfish Books. I know what most of it is. When the owner emailed me to tell me she was sending the box, she also mentioned there were some things from Lizzie on the inside, so let's see what we have today. And for those of you who haven't met Lizzie, she is my little personal bookseller who floats around in my Discord. Between Lizzie and Kayla from Cracking to a Good Book, there is no way you can ask for a recommendation and not leave with about 20 options from those two. And the first one is wrapped in baby paper. I know I've mentioned it a time or two on the channel. I don't really read a whole lot of romance, but when I do, it's Jude Deveraux. It's been a few years and I haven't been keeping up with her books like I used to. I saw this one on the bargain cart and I had to have it. No idea what it's about, but Jude Deveraux does not ever write a bad book. Okay. This one is labeled the really good one, so we'll save it for last. Oh my gosh. Got some nice floral paper here. I can't believe she wrapped these. I have seen this little series by Neil Schusterman talked about on almost every BookTube channel that I watch, and I have about 170 I'm subscribed to. It's a series that I already planned to read. It was $8. Who's gonna say no to that? Oh, okay. We have a nice combination of some Cheers and llamas. This is just one of the many reasons why I love my indie bookstore. They make every experience like Christmas. Starting in January, Mike from Mike's Book Reviews is doing a channel buddy read of the Malazan series. I've never read Malazan. I don't think I've ever heard about it before Mike mentioned it on his channel. I decided I was going to take part in the buddy read, and I just lucked up getting a couple of the trades for $1. So this one, we've got some interesting characters and books. So this would be my other Malazan book, and I am stoked that I got the trade copies for 93 cents each. That's crazy. So it looks like I have books 4 and 5. Smells like an old library. Man, these are some thick boys. So we got some birthday paper. And then we got some lemons. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. I didn't realize this was the hardback edition I was getting. This one is The Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons. At the time I purchased these, I had actually not ever heard of this book or the author. Lizzie was really over the moon about this book, and she was like, you need it, you need it, you need it. So I'm like, all right, throw it in there. Of course, right after that, it seems like everywhere I go, I've heard this book mentioned, and I'm really excited about it now. Finally, the really good one. If you are subscribed to Alex Nieves and you've been around his channel a minute, you have noticed the sore thumb that he oftentimes says, just ignore it, don't look at it. And that is the mass market paperback version of The Eye of the World from the Wheel of Time series. So the other night, I was laying in bed scrolling through Twitter, and I saw the beautiful 30th edition version of The Eye of the World, and I linked it to him, and I was like, you know why. Well, after I got to looking at it, I was like, man, that's really beautiful. I think I'm gonna have to have it. So, yep, I got it. I think it's beautiful. I mean, I love the silver cover, but the real beauty is what's underneath. I just love that red foil on there. It's freaking gorgeous. I may just leave the dust jacket off because I am just entranced by how beautiful the hardback itself is. As you can see on my shelves behind me, I have almost all of the Wheel of Time series in mass market paperback because I was a young college kid. That's what I could afford. A few months ago, I pulled down Eye of the World to reread it, and the first thing that happened, the prologue came out. So I've had these books since the 90s. I've read the series as it was released. I've read them so many times, they're just falling apart. Mass market paperbacks really aren't meant to stand the test of time, in my opinion. So a few months ago, I was talking to my friend Tyler, and he is also going to participate in the Malazan buddy read with Mike's Book Reviews. The plan for that is to read one Malazan book every 2 months. Tyler and I decided the month that is between the Malazan books, we're going to start rereading the Wheel of Time series. And that got me to thinking that would be a great time to replace my paperbacks with hardbacks one at a time. Ugh, you do not smell well. So I ended up hauling some really good books this month, and most of them I got for a really great deal. I love it when that happens, especially when they're already on the reading plan for this year and next. How about you guys? Anybody get anything good? Something you're really proud of that you want to share in the comments down below? Now it is time for me to clean all this mess up and start finding places on my TBR for these fantastic books that I picked up this month. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.